Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a peek at some PS2 classics and seeing how many hold up today. Whether they've been brought to modern consoles or you have to blow dust off your PS2, these are 20 PS2 games that are still worth playing today. Let's go. Before we continue, we publish content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of our latest videos. Ōkami. Okami is basically the Zelda Nintendo never got around to making, and that should be enough to have you running to the classics section of the PS Store and hitting download. You play as Amaterasu, the sun goddess, in the adorable form of a white wolf armed with a magical paintbrush. Yep, a paintbrush. Take that, Link. You can literally draw your way out of trouble, slay enemies, and manipulate the world like a divine art student on a deadline. If you've played any pre-Breath of the Wild 3D Zelda, the vibe will feel familiar, and it only came out 10 years earlier. Well done, Ōkami. Kingdom Hearts.
You okay?
Sora, let's take the raft and go. Just the two of us.
Huh?
Just kidding.
What's gotten into you?
The original Kingdom Hearts is like the unicorn of RPGs. It shouldn't work, but somehow it absolutely does. Before the series got famously tangled in convoluted plots and multiverse headaches, the PS2 classic was a clean, magical mashup of Disney charm and Final Fantasy drama. You step into the oversized shoes of Sora, a wide-eyed kid who teams up with Goofy and Donald Duck, yes, that Donald Duck, to rescue his friends and save the world from mysterious darkness. Gameplay-wise, it's a straightforward hack-and-slash RPG by today's standards, but the real fun comes from strolling through the worlds of Hercules, Tarzan, and other 90s favorites. It's heartwarming, and ignoring what I said, the gameplay is still pretty damn fun, albeit a bit dated.
His Majesty, King Triton!
And who are they?
They helped us fight off those creatures.
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Down. Production facilities in the area will grind to a halt. Let's move them out. The enemy's forward command post is on the other side of this bridge.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 is like a love letter to old school shooters. If old school shooters had lightsabers and blasters the size of your head, you can hop between first person and third person views, depending on whether you want to feel heroic or just cinematic. This game is all about jumping into the chaos and enjoying it for what it is, which is why it's still easy to enjoy for what it is. Story mode surprises with some solid storytelling, while Galactic Conquest lets you play sandbox general with a side of interstellar ego. Sure, the controls are a little retro and the design isn't flashy, but it's hours of chaotic Star Wars joy. Everything Star Wars Outlaws wasn't. I actually never played Outlaws, I just wanted to pile on.
That's the way it's done. Check your fire!
Tekken 5.
Round one. Fight.
Listen, guys, I'm gonna get personal. Most of my time with Tekken 5 was spent in multiplayer chaos, duking it out with friends and family while shouting things that would get me kicked out of school. Revisiting this game showed me that it does have a story, picking up right after Tekken 4. But honestly, the story barely gets a chance to breathe before you're launching combos and spinning into the next round. Fast, fluid gameplay is what keeps this entry so addictive. Give it a shot, because it should be considered a fighting classic alongside originals like Tekken 3. Pac-Man World 2. I can't believe I finally have an opportunity to talk about the 3D Pac-Man games. This second entry in the 3D series, of course, has you playing as Pac-Man, hopping through vibrant levels to rescue the kidnapped Pac people from those pesky ghosts. The game only has 25 levels, but don't let that fool you. Collectibles and Pac pellets are scattered everywhere, keeping completionists busy for hours. Honestly, it should be considered a platforming classic alongside Crash and Spyro. Sly 2 Band of Thieves.
What Dimitri plans to do with the clockwork part is beyond me. But those plans end tonight.
Before Sucker Punch was sneaking samurai across feudal Japan and Ghost of Tsushima, they were busy sneaking a certain thieving raccoon and his merry band of animal accomplices. Sly 2 Band of Thieves shows the studio cutting its teeth with stealthy, cartoon-flavored heists that feel like Saturday morning TV. This sequel ditched the first game's linear platforming for bigger open-world levels and more playable characters, each with their own quirky skills. Don't expect Splinter Cell level espionage, it's family-friendly mischief, not FBI-grade sneaking. But with breezy stealth, witty humor, and comic book style visuals, it's still fun.
Run away by holding down the R1 button.
Resident Evil 4.
Freeze! I said freeze!
Alright, many consider this more of a GameCube game than a PS2 game, but I don't, so go suck eggs, Nintendo nerds. I love you, please don't be mean to me in the comments. Resident Evil 4 isn't just a game, it's a survival horror masterclass wrapped in rural Spanish chaos. With spot-on pacing, clever puzzles, and more B-movie charm than a vampire convention, it's no wonder fans worship this like it's sacred. Sure, the 2025 PS5 remake polishes the edges and makes it prettier, but the original? Untouchable. It's more action than terror, including roundhouse kicking zombies, the way Cap God intended. Devil May Cry 3: Dante's Awakening.
Did some pesky fatherly love get in your way?
That's none of your...
Releasing the same year as the previous RE4, Devil May Cry 3: Dante's Awakening wears its age like a leather jacket. Stylish, albeit a little stiff in the elbows. The combat is as slick and over the top as ever, but some of the puzzles feel like someone sneezed weird into a game design meeting. That's hardly enough to ruin it though, as the story is pure 2000s angsty chaos, goofy, gothic drama. But that's the charm. DMC3 doesn't apologize for its melodrama, flamboyance, or bizarre plot twists, and that unapologetic swagger is why fans keep returning. God of War 2.
Kratos had no need for the love of petty gods. He had found a new family in the warriors of Sparta, gaining solace from his past and carnage through battle.
It was way too hard to pick a God of War entry to tell you to revisit, and I decided to go with the middle because it definitely deserves more praise than it gets. God of War 2 is all about hack and slash mayhem, giant monsters, epic combos, and enough flying swords and axes to make a medieval weapon store jealous. Sure, the story is there, and it's compelling, but the writing sometimes screams teenager with a vendetta, especially Kratos' over-the-top lines. Still, that unfiltered punch first, ask questions later attitude is what makes this a blast to play. You'll get over the dialogue real quick. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time is a relic of the golden age of action-adventure games, back when parkour and time travel weren't just Instagram trends. The mix of slick platforming, clever puzzles, and swashbuckling combat feels rare in today's crop of cookie-cutter action games. The story is simple, think romance, betrayal, sand, repeat, but charming nonetheless. The real magic? Flipping, climbing, rewinding time so you don't faceplant into spikes. Even now, few games match its fluid controls or let you undo a bad jump with the smug satisfaction of a time wizard.
Water.
Ratchet and Clank: Going Commando.
Introducing from nowhere in particular, this guy!
Let's follow my previous theory of giving love to the middle entries that are sometimes overshadowed by their strong third entries with Ratchet and Clank: Going Commando. This is as good as a sequel gets. Traveling across a variety of wacky planets, you'll blast enemies, collect bolts, and dive into minigames, hoverbike races being my personal favorite. The plot? You're recovering a rogue experiment for a big boss, which naturally escalates in hilarious, chaotic ways. Smooth controls, clever humor, and inventive weaponry make this a PS2 classic worth returning to, even if your hoverbike skills are questionable.
Insinuate their operation.
Is it
dangerous?
No. Well, actually, yes, it is.
Tony Hawk's Underground 2.
Last word you're gonna hear would be...
Hello, butt nuggets.
Real funny,
What
guys.
is this?
Real
What's
funny.
happening, fellas? In case you're wondering why Bam and I invited you here tonight, let us enlighten you. World Destruction Tour.
I have credited Tony Hawk's Underground as one of the best skating games ever made, but the sequel deserves so much love for improving upon the first entry in every way. You grind, jump, and chain combos like a physics-defying daredevil, all while globe-trotting on the World Destruction Tour. From Boston to Berlin to Thailand, each location is packed with ramps, rails, and secret spots begging for chaos. The story? Not quite as good as the first. Honestly, it's mostly an excuse to skate everywhere and wreak havoc, but that's fine because the gameplay is so addictive you barely notice.
Awesome. Way to take care of that tool.
And now you get to roll with us to New Orleans. Mardi Gras, baby.
Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty.
The terrorists call themselves Sons of Liberty.
Sons of Liberty?
The name of their leader is Solid Snake.
The Metal Gear series has never been one to follow the rules. After all, it basically invented stealth gaming. Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty is a prime example, a postmodern, over 2 decades old masterpiece that simultaneously dazzles and frustrates. The gameplay can feel clunky compared to modern entries, but the story and characters remain iconic. Its aesthetics scream early 2000s in all the right ways, and its themes of disinformation and info warfare, shockingly relevant today. In 2001, it was science fiction. In 2025, it's basically Twitter in game form.
Unless somebody inside gives us a hand.
Final Fantasy X.
Huh?
God, I love Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy X is proof that even a series obsessed with reinventing itself can't escape its era. Released during a turning point in gaming, it sticks with the classic turn-based combat while the rest of the RPG world was running around mashing buttons in real time. The plot has a few cliches, and the voice acting feels like a beta test for lip syncing, but none of that stops Final Fantasy X from being pure magic, and arguably the best Final Fantasy game of all time, if 6 and 7 haven't hijacked your heart. Critics love it, fans worship it, and even the slightly dated mechanics just add charm.
He does look a lot like Chapu. I was surprised too, the first time I saw him. But no matter what he looks like, he isn't Chapu.
Eco. Forget Shadow of the Colossus, we've talked about that game ad nauseum. Let's give some credit to the spiritual predecessor, Eco. Eco is like the quiet, artsy kid in the PS2 playground. Minimalist, mysterious, and oddly inspiring. This 2001 masterpiece laid the groundwork for indie games years before indie was cool. You play a horned boy rejected by his village, locked in a castle, who meets Yorda, a girl you help escape. No flashy UI, almost no dialogue, and barely any context. Just a lot of holding hands, solving puzzles, and tiptoeing past baddies. It's basically a stealth game meets emotional bonding 101. Silent Hill 2.
Mary, could you really be in this town?
If your idea of finest includes endless fog, awkward combat, and puzzles that make you question your life choices, then Silent Hill 2 may well be the finest horror game of all time. Modern horror games might have slick controls and jump scares, but Silent Hill 2 doesn't need them. It terrifies with something deeper and oddly engaging. Creepy, moody, and willing to tackle topics even today's games would say nope to. It's a masterclass in psychological horror. Combat may be repetitive and puzzles may be maddening, but the narrative hits harder than Pyramid Head. Decades later, its grim tale still resonates, proving story beats can outlast clunky gameplay. Grand Theft Auto: San Andreas.
You picked the wrong house, fool!
Hey!
Hey, Big Smoke! It's me, Carl! Chill!
San Andreas might get overshadowed by later GTA games, but back in its day, this PS2 juggernaut blew minds. You play as CJ, arguably the most meme-worthy GTA protagonist ever, as he rebuilds his gang and investigates his mum's murder. Ah, shit. Here we go again. Your adventure spans the entire state, from the LA-inspired streets of Los Santos to the desert casino chaos of Las Venturas, Las Vegas, but with more chaos and fewer cocktails. And this range was something open worlds hadn't seen up until this game. Sure, some combat missions feel dated now, but everything that makes GTA great, crime, chaos, endless customization, it's here.
Race ain't getting pushed up in their faces. Maybe these fools should be up for some real banging.
Yeah, Grove gonna get back on his feet now, for sure though.
Burnout 3 Takedown. This game never gets the love it deserves, so let me do my job. Released in 2004, Burnout 3 Takedown is arcade racing on steroids. The series has always been about high-speed chaos and taking out your rivals, but Takedown cranks everything up to 11. Crashes are bigger, boosts are faster, and the action just zooms. The game even lets you steer your car after a wreck with aftertouch, so you can drag someone else into the fiery demise. The progression keeps you hooked, the music slaps, and even though your cars aren't licensed, they're ridiculously fun to smash around. Katamari Damacy. Instead of shooting enemies or slicing demons, Katamari Damacy has you control the tiny prince tasked with rolling up, well, everything for his dad to recreate the stars and moons. It's a quirky little puzzle action game that's short, sweet, and gloriously weird. The gameplay is devilishly simple. Push your sticky Katamari around, picking up anything smaller than it, and keep rolling until you've collected enough objects in the time limit. Chairs, cats, refrigerators. If it fits, it ships. It's basic, sure, but insanely fun. Like playing cosmic cleanup with zero supervision. Beyond Good and Evil.
Here on Hillis, war has once again reared its ugly head, striking the civilian population. Luckily, our elite forces have once again arrived in the nick of time. I'm coming to you live from the Southern Lighthouse Shelter. Here is where some of the children whose parents have been captured by the Dons have been taken in by two devoted and courageous Hillians. Miss, a word for our...
Beyond Good and Evil might have stumbled out of the gate when it first launched, but like a fine wine, or me, it's only gotten better with age. But just like me, some parts of it haven't aged that gracefully. The camera, let's just say it's about as helpful as a GPS made by a drunk raccoon. And the experimental gameplay and quirky art style can feel a little, what did I just boot up, by today's standards. But honestly, that's kind of part of the charm. And it almost lands better today than it did in 2003. The world had to catch up to it. The game's inventive story, clever mechanics, and overall weirdness have stood the test of time far better than its technical hiccups. Playing it now is like discovering an old band. I love these Beatles. What happened to these guys?
Your electrical supply has just been blocked. Gotta be joking! Thank you for...
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MojoPlays and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of our latest videos.